Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, here we are from X group will explain to you about conditional sentences. Before I'm going to explain, let me introduce my group. First, I am Muhammad Saddam Hozen, and then second Muhammad Najib Mubarok, and the third is Muhammad Salim. The first, I will explain the definition of conditional sentences, and then the kind of conditional sentences. Conditional sentences are also known as conditional sentences, conditional clause, or if clause. They are used to express that the action in the main clause or without if can only take place if a certain condition in the clause with if is fulfilled. There are three types of conditional sentences. The first type is simple present plus simple future, and the meaning is possible in the future. And the second type is simple past future, and the meaning is present unreal, or we can say in bahasa hayalan. And the last type is simple past future, and then plus past future perfect, and then the meaning is past unreal, or we can say in the bahasa penyesalan. But now I just will explain to you about the type 1. Okay, for the type 1, conditional sentences refers to a possible condition and its probable result. These sentences are based on facts, and they are used to make statements about the real world and about particular situation. And in the type 1 conditional sentences, and then the time of the type 1 is the present or future. And then next is the form of type 1 is the first if plus simple present plus simple future, and then the meaning is possible in the future, or we can say in bahasa rencana or harapan. The example, the first, if I have a lot of money, I will treat you. And then teacher will be more happy if we are active students. Okay, here I will make it clear. Here I will make it clear to you all, as I have explained that the form of type 1 is if plus simple present, as if clause, and then plus simple future. The simple future here is as main clause. Okay, I think just it the explanation about the conditional sentences, the definition of conditional sentences, and the definition for the type 1.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Conditional sentence type 2. What is conditional sentence type 2? The definition. The conditional type 2 refers to an unlikely or hypothetical condition and its probable result. These sentences are not based on the actual situation. In conditional type 2 sentences, the time is no or any time and the situation is hypothetical. If the weather wasn't so bad, we would go to the park. But in reality, the weather is bad, so we cannot go. How about the use of conditional sentence? Conditional sentence type 2 refer to situations in the present. An action could happen, if the present situation were different. I don't really expect the situation to change. However, I just imagine what would happen if. How about the function? For the first function is untrue in the present or future. And the second one is contrary to the fact in the present or future. And the formula if plus simple past and then would or could or might plus bare infinitive. If plus simple past is subclause and would or could or might and bare infinitive is main clause. For example, if I found her address, I would send her an invitation. If I found her address is subclause and I would send her an invitation is the main clause one. And then the main clause can also be at the beginning of the sentence. In this case, don't use a comma. For example, I would send her an invitation if I found her address. Because in this case, the main clause at the beginning, so we don't need to use comma. I would send her an invitation is the main clause, and if I found her address is the subclause. Okay, main clause and or if clause might be negative. See simple past and conditional I on how to form negative sentence. In negative sentence, this is the example. If I had a lot of money, I wouldn't stay here.
Conditional sentence type 3. If clause type 3 is used to express the past and the impossible situation that can no longer be changed. In other words, the condition specified in the clause is imaginary or unreal or impossible conditions in the past that didn't happen. Use conditional sentence type 3 refers to situation in the past. An action could have happened in the past if a certain condition had been fulfilled. Things were different then, however. We just imagine what would have happened if the situation had been fulfilled. Function. There are two functions in the type 3. The first is untrue in the past. The second is contrary to the fact in the past. Form or pattern of type 3. The form is if plus past perfect tense, comma, past future perfect tense. For example, if I had found her address, I would have sent her an invitation. Sometimes in the past, I wanted to send an invitation to a friend. I didn't find her address, however, so in the end, I didn't send her an invitation. The main clause can also be at the beginning of the sentence. In this case, don't use a comma. For example, I would have bought a Ferrari if John had had the money. I know John very well, and I know that he never had much money, but he loved Ferrari. He would have loved to own a Ferrari, but he never had the money to buy one. Alright, this is the end of our lessons. Thank you very much for your attention. Wassalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.